It doesn't start with something obvious, like your dog refusing a command or walking away from you completely, and that's why most people don't notice it when it begins. It starts in a much smaller moment, like when you give a command and your dog hesitates for just a second longer than usual. That hesitation feels harmless because the dog still listens. But that is the exact moment something underneath begins to change. At first, everything still works, and that's what makes it easy to ignore. Your dog still comes when called, still follows you, still responds most of the time. But the way they respond has already shifted. Instead of reacting instantly, they are beginning to check first. Now watch what happens the next time you give the same command in a slightly different situation. Maybe you're distracted, maybe your tone is different, or maybe the environment has changed slightly. Your dog pauses again, just briefly. That pause is not confusion, it's comparison. In that moment, your dog is checking whether this situation will follow the same pattern as before. Will the command lead to something clear, or something inconsistent? That question happens instantly, but it changes everything about how they respond. This is where the habit begins to take effect, and it's not about what you say, it's about what happens after you say it. If the outcome changes from one moment to the next, your signal loses reliability. And when reliability drops, hesitation replaces certainty. Now the hesitation starts appearing more often. Not in every moment, but enough that you begin to feel it. Your dog takes slightly longer to respond, or looks away before moving, or shifts their attention first. These are not random behaviors. They are signs that trust is becoming conditional. That's the moment where most people think nothing has changed, but something already has. Your dog still listens, still responds, still follows through most of the time. But now there is always a gap between your command and their movement. And that gap is where trust has started to shift. Now watch what happens the next time you call them when something else is slightly more interesting. They hear you, but they don't move straight away. Instead, they look first, or pause, or shift their body before deciding. That is not distraction, it's hesitation becoming visible. A few days later, the same thing happens again, but the delay is slightly longer. Not dramatic, just enough that you notice it this time. Your dog still comes, but only after checking something else first. And now the hesitation is no longer occasional, it's becoming consistent. This is where the behavior starts to change shape. Instead of reacting instantly, your dog begins to respond in stages. First they pause, then they look, then they decide, and only then do they move. That sequence is the exact opposite of automatic response. Now something else shifts, and this is where it becomes harder to ignore. Your dog begins responding faster to other things than to you. A sound, a movement, another person, and they react immediately. But your command still carries a delay. That difference is the clearest signal of all. It means your voice is no longer the strongest reference point in that moment. Something else has taken priority. And once priority shifts, hesitation becomes the default. At this point, repeating the command feels like the solution. But repeating doesn't rebuild trust, it confirms the delay. Because now your dog learns they don't need to move on the first call. They can wait, and it will come again. Now the pattern becomes predictable. First call, pause. Second call, response. That timing is no longer random. It has been learned. And once learned, it repeats automatically. A few more repetitions, and something changes again. Your dog begins choosing when to respond, not just how fast. Sometimes they come. Sometimes they don't. And the difference depends entirely on what they are comparing your signal to. This is where ignoring starts to appear clearly. Not because your dog doesn't understand, but because your signal has become optional. And optional signals are always the first to be delayed, or dropped completely. Now think back to how it used to feel when your dog responded instantly. There was no pause, no check, no second step in the process. You called, and they moved. That's what trust looks like in behavior. What you're seeing now is the same system, just reversed. Instead of automatic response, you have layered decision-making. Instead of clarity, you have comparison. And comparison always slows everything down. But here's what matters most. Because this process didn't happen in one moment, it can't be fixed in one moment either. It changes the same way it was built, through repeated, predictable outcomes. When your signal becomes consistent again, something shifts back. The pause shortens. The check disappears. The response becomes immediate again. Not because your dog was corrected, but because your signal became reliable. And when reliability returns, your dog stops deciding and starts responding,